So in this video, I wanted to do something different than doing unboxes, subscription boxes. I watched a video, it was from Jen Loves, well, no, she's not Jen Loves Reviews anymore, Jen Loves. And every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern time, she does a live stream. And the live stream was about her older palettes and stuff. And I said, you know what? That is a great idea because I have some palettes that I want to talk about and share why I got them and do I still use them. So I went through my collection, and when I say I have like over 400, I have over 400 eyeshadow palettes. However, I did get these, I picked these out of all of them. Oh my God, this is heavy. Right here. So I'm going to do it fast and talk about them and tell you why I got them, because there's a story to it. And do I still use it? Are they dust collectors? Do I still use it? You know, all that jazz. So if that is something that you're interested in, I know it's a little bit different content than I normally do. Keep on watching. Okay, so let me make some room over here. Now, let me take them out of this box here. Hold the phone. Whew. So I got them all out of here. I'm also going to do my luxury eyeshadow palettes. So like my Pat McGrath, Natasha Denona, not the high-end like Anastasia, Beverly Hills, Too Faced. I'm going to do my luxury eyeshadow palette. So if that's something that you're going to be interested in, make sure you turn the post notification bell on so you get notified. Also, we have our 50K giveaway going on right now. I will leave that video down below. I don't usually put giveaway in the thumbnail or title, so I will leave that down below, and there will be 10 lucky winners and one extra one. So if you watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, now, let's start. I used to watch Nikki, well, I still do, like Nikki tutorials, Jaclyn Hill, you know, all that. And everybody talked about Morphe. So let's talk about Morphe because these were my first palettes. And I thought Morphe was high-end.
That's the dumbest thing you could have said. What are you, an idiot?
I did. Because I'm used to the Walmart, like, or Rite Aid, you know, Walgreens, the Maybelline, right? CoverGirl, Rimmel, you know, that's what I was used to. So when I heard of Morphe, I really thought that was high end. And everybody was like, use my code, use this, it's great, you know? And when I started watching YouTube, I was so naive. I thought everybody told the truth. I didn't realize people got sent stuff in PR. I didn't know people got paid if you used their link. So I just believed that what people said, and I went and buy it. They said it was good. I went to find makeup, good makeup, and I bought it. So that time, everybody was talking about the Morphe 350. Do you guys remember that? Now, when I went to go purchase it, it was always sold out. You could not find it. So I had to buy both. So it was the 350M for matte and the 350S for shimmer. I had to buy two palettes. So one is a shimmer and one is a matte because the 350L that had like everything in one was always sold out. And I forget exactly how much these were. I forget because they were cheaper then, you know. And this was the only eyeshadow palette that I had. Okay, so this is the matte. This is what it looked like, the old packaging, you know. Doesn't have a mirror or anything like that. I don't think they still do. But this is what it looked like. And let me just tell you, when I got into eyeshadow, it was very like neutral. I thought orange or like cinnamon shades or peachy, that was color to me, right? That's all I use. I would not use blue or green or pinks or never, you know what I mean? Like, or purple, you know, I use pink, but like not purple, you know? So this is when I started like in warm tone because everybody else used it and I liked it, you know, blue eyes, it looks good on blue eyes, you know. So I got into like the orangey here, you know, use these as my transition. Then I kind of deepened it up, but not really. But yeah, so that's what I use. Let's put this back in the box. And then for my shimmer, because I always, even now, I always use some type of shimmer shade. Like I don't like all matte looks. And this was the shimmer. You guys can see I got into it. Because this is the only palette that I had for shimmers. And that's what I use. You guys can see it's like neutral. Like you don't see any pinks and all that, like, you know, like I wear now, right? It was like beige or bronze or something like that. Go back to my earlier videos, you'll see. And I used to pack them I didn't know how to blend any of that type of stuff. So I was a hot mess. Okay. Then for Morphe, these came out. Do you guys remember these palettes? I remember it was this shade right here in the middle. Okay, let me show you. This is the 25B palette. They don't sell these anymore. This right here in the middle. I remember Nikki Tutorials swatched it on her hand. And she was like, oh my God, you know how they do, right? And so it looked beautiful. Now, I mean, that looks beautiful like that. I didn't realize that they have like tens of thousands of dollars for lights or filters or to put primer on. I never heard of primer before you put that on and make it look nice. So it looked beautiful and it looked more pinky like when she swatched it. But I mean, it's still beautiful and I don't have anything on. Don't get me wrong. So they were releasing these. Like I said, I did not know that YouTubers got stuff in PR and they were promoting it. Why? Because if you use their link, they made money off of it, right? And then they had codes. So it helped us out too because we saved money. So I bought both of these. Never really used them. Why? Because I use those palettes, even though they're the same colors. And these look like almost the same palette, but everybody fell for it and we all bought it, right? And it's like, I can't get rid of it because it just brings back memories, even though I don't use it. I know, dumb. But let me know if you guys got this. Did you fall for it? Let me know. All right, and my last Morphe palette that I'm going to show you, and I know a lot of you got this, was the Jaclyn Hill palette. Now, this is the original. I know they made like another one that isn't the same formula, but this is the one that you can't wipe. And they made other ones because so many people complain that this is the type of, you know, like you just can't wipe off. It won't come off. So they made like different packaging where it will wipe off. And it didn't come with a mirror. So I just like placed the colors on here. But because it was almost the same colors, you know, that I used, I bought this. I never would have used these. You know, but we'll talk later how I got into like different colors and stuff, you know, but I mean, you can see now I use them because I was in, you know, now I use it, but I still use this palette though. Those ones I don't use. This one I still use when I don't know what type of look or I'm looking for a transition shade. I mean, this one right here almost hit panning. I go to this palette. This, I mean, if Morphe used this formula, I mean, I think they'd be really good. You know what I mean? So this is really, really good. Then I found out the brand. I heard Too Faced. Everybody talked about Too Faced. Never heard of the brand. So, of course, I wanted to try, right? Let me wipe this off because I'll get it everywhere.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
So, you guys remember these palettes? The other ones I gave away, but I had all of them, you know. I have this one and I have the peach one left, I think. But I gave like the heart one away. But I got the Too Faced chocolate bar. I was like, oh my God, look at the packaging. How cute is that? I love Hershey bars. I love chocolate. And look at this. And then it smelled like chocolate. You can still smell a little bit. So I had a mirror and these are the colors. Remember, I used all these shades. Now, then I start using the pink, you know, and start getting into it. But this really doesn't have a lot of color either. I started using the shimmer shade like what everybody was doing. They were putting it like right underneath their eyebrows, which is still good to use because if you do it, especially where your arch is, it makes you have more of a arch eyebrow and can make you look younger, you know? So I don't think I'd get rid of this palette because of that. It brings back so many memories that I use this all the time, you know? And then, like I said, then there were the other ones I got as well, right? Then, do you remember this was so hard to find? It was sold out everywhere. And then when it came back, I mean, the lines at the mall and Sephora and all were so long, you just couldn't get your hands on it. So I was a late bloomer to get this. And it was supposed to smell like peach. And it still does. And these were the colors. So I still use the same neutral colors, but then I start getting into like the peachy, here's a little green. I started to get into color with this palette. And I still use this palette here and there when I want to do a peachy look or something like that, or just like a peachy like shimmer shade. I still get into this palette. I think the formula is good. I don't think it's like how everybody was saying and the lines were long and how it was always sold out, but I think it's still pretty good, you know? Now, this is my favorite, still to this day, my favorite Too Faced palette, the Just Peachy. Now, because of that peach palette, I start getting into more peachy colors. It wasn't like the browns and the tans, right? So, it's a nice mirror. This is an all matte palette, so I always had to go in with a different palette for a shimmer shade. Here are the colors. Now, peachy, you know, I started getting more into like, let's say like orangey, peachy, browns, you know. This one here almost hit pan. I still use this palette when I want, you know, I still use it. Like, I will not get rid of this palette. I love it. I really, really do. It's my favorite palette from Too Faced. Now, with this palette is how I started. I was still scared to play with color like purples and greens and blues. So what I did was I started getting eyeliners, like color eyeliners. Like today I have like a green on. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but it's more like a dark green. And I started using color on my waterline. Nowhere else. But I would do like a blue or a green or a purple. What I used to do my makeup, I just used the nude color, like the tan or the nude. That's what I would put in my waterline, you know? And yeah, that's how I got used to seeing color. And then from there, I started using it like underneath, never on the top, but underneath. So if, let's say I had a blue eyeliner, then I would put like blue right under my eyes, and then I would like deepen it up with like the dark brown, because I wasn't going to use black, you know what I mean? So that's how I got into color, but from this palette. Another Too Faced palette I got, do you guys remember everybody talked about the Too Faced peanut butter palette? I mean, I still have the card. It has a mirror. Why? Because of this purple. So I got this palette. I haven't used it a lot, but I got into like the purple. Let me show you. These are the two colors that I definitely used a lot, but it was a purple shimmer shade. And look, it's not even that great. That's going on one time. Now this is old too. I mean, don't get me wrong. But I mean, look, it's not, and then here's this color. Beautiful. The matte's still beautiful. Like, but I use that like as a kind of like a transition kind of, but I was like, ooh, you know, because I always say I would never wear purple, but I started doing it. So I was like, okay, maybe I can get with the purples. You know what I mean? Oh, really quickly, talking about Too Faced. This was an older palette too. I've already heard of Too Faced used them. It's the chocolate gold. It was like a Christmas holidays thing. I really love this palette for the shimmers. Now, they're only 4 matte colors. The rest are all shimmers. So you have your little setting, you know, to set your eyes. Then you have these 3. This, and this. That's it that you have for your match. You really don't have a transition color in here. But let me just show you. I mean, look at that. That helped me with using shimmer shades on my lid. This is look at that. This is probably one of the best palettes for shimmers that Too Faced has ever made. I still believe that, and the shimmers are really, really good on here, you know? But it's kind of like if you want an all shimmer palette, you know? I gotta find another wipey thingy. All right, I got to always wipe it off my fingers because I'll get it everywhere. Let me wipe this off so we could do some more swatches. This is the Pure Lease Watermelon Makeup Remover Wipes, and they have a lot of, like, it's wet, you know. You know, they work really good. Okay. So then I started hearing people talked about Urban Decay. So I remember a lot of them I have, and you know, it's not like it's not like a makeup collection. So I have a lot of them, but I just want to show you the palettes that like I first got and why I got them and if I still use them. So this is the Naked 2 palette. And I have all the Naked palettes, right? But I've only used this once. I've swatched it because I didn't do smoky looks, but everybody said you need to have this. This is a palette that you need to have, you know, to start smoking your eyes out. And I got it, but I was scared of it. And it was more cool tone when I'm used to all warm tone palettes, right? And I never really used it, but I just can't get rid of it. One, I don't have a lot of cool tone palettes, but I don't know why. Because I know I'll really never use it. But it's just a palette I just can't get rid of. I don't know. But this is what made me fall in love with Urban Decay. Don't really care for it so much now. But this palette, do you guys remember this? It's big, bulky. Everybody complained about how big and bulky it is. You can only slide it out one way, like it doesn't slide out that way. And you have a mirror in the front. I don't want to blind you, but you have all the neutral shimmer shades and you have the colorful shimmer shades. And let me just tell you, this is really good. The packaging is big and bulky. I don't like the packaging. There's nothing for, you know, you got a mirror in the middle, but there's nothing to really hold it up. But I cannot get rid of it because of the shimmers. I mean, let me just show you. Look at that. That's the new, look at that. My God. And I had this for years, you know, when it first came out, and it's still going strong. It's still going strong. I don't know why they don't use this formula anymore. Maybe they do. I haven't bought Urban Decay in a while, but this is great. Now let's do some colors. Oh, wait till you see this. Remember, I was just starting to get into colors, but this is what made me, I mean, look at that. Wow, look at this color. Look at this blue. I mean, it's so good. I just can't get rid of it. I don't think I will get rid of it, ever. I like it. It's just very bulky, so I have it like in the back, and I never see it, and I don't use it. But having swatched this again, maybe I need to like put it on my desk or something so I can remember, because this is good. This is really, really good. Oh, see? It doesn't go that way. It has to go in this way. I don't know who thought of this packaging like it's really dumb. Why isn't it going in? That's what he said, or she said. Oh my God, I can't get it to go in. Why? Why?
3 days later.
Okay. All right. So we have that. That's when I really got into color. And I went through probably 2019 maybe, is when like you always see me with colorful eye looks, right? Here we go. Morphe Kathleen Lights. I love Kathleen Lights. And I got this only because I didn't realize that what they did was at the time when they collab with their influencers, they just chose the colors that they like that Morphe already has, and then they put it in the palette. You know what I mean? But this green, ooh, is gorgeous. The rest is more like neutral, you know. The black is really good too. I remember the black. Like, look at that. It's really good. Look at this green. Oh my God, look at the green. And the black, pretty good. I won't get rid of it because they don't sell this anymore, and I enjoyed supporting Kathleen Lights, but I haven't used this in years. Who remembers these? Kat Von D. Do you remember when these came out? I love these things. First of all, the packaging, but it was good for when you traveled or whatever like that. And you only had 4 shades. So you got a mirror, and then, of course, warm tone. This was great for when I didn't know what I wanted to use again, or if I was traveling somewhere, because the packaging was pretty good. And you know, I would use this as a transition shade, put this on, deepen it up, and use this like, you know, because I was always putting it right here because that's what everybody said to do. And I loved them. I had all of them. I got rid of all of them now because you can get them at, I think, at TJ Maxx. I don't know anymore now, but you would be able to get them at TJ Maxx before, except for this because I like the color and I like orange. I still do. I don't know, but this is the only one I can't get rid of. Tarte. I would always love Graveyard Girl. Always. Do you guys remember this? When she came out with this? The Swamp Cream palette. Swamp Queen. You got a thing. Any of the palettes that ever came with a brush, I never used. Even the Anastasia, like all of them that came with a brush, I never used because I never wanted to, like, I don't know. I just wanted to keep everything. I don't know. It's weird. So it has a nice mirror, but look at this. I hit pan in this puppy right here. I know I'm blinding you. This, people like, people didn't. Like the bronzer is too orangey. The blush had like glitter in it. The highlighter was so daggone glittery. But I used it because I thought, I mean, and it's like yellow, you know, but I love it. I still like it. And I want to support Graveyard Girl. This is when I first found those shadows that glitter in it. And I was like, oh my God, she's genius. And it has like glitter. The problem is when you blend it, you don't see the glitter anymore unless you pack it. But I hear that they put the glitter in it. Something with the glitter makes it blendable or something. I don't know. But I used to always, I mean, especially this, because it was like an orangey color, you know? And I can't get rid of it. I don't know why. I just love the packaging too. I mean, I think that's basically what it is. Because it looks like wood. It's not wood, but I don't know. Let me know if you guys remember that palette. Do you still have it? Let me know down below. All right, we don't have that much more. Anastasia Beverly Hills. I hate this packaging because look at it. It got so dirty. You know, you just get dirty. Look at this. Now, again, never used the brush. Look how many, look at the pans I hit. These ones I almost hit pans in too. And they're the colors that I always wore. Like, that's all I wore. But everybody talked about it. I just recently, maybe within a year, started using these colors, right? Because that was just too red, too much color for me. But I really, really liked it. And I love the formula. And this is what made me fall with the ABH palettes. Like, this is probably one of my favorite formulas ever. Even to this day, I like it. I know a lot of people think it's powdery and stuff like that. But to me, if you just go light-handed, and it's very blendable and stuff. And I really like it. But this is the palette that everybody was talking about. And I used almost every day. You see, I hit pan on it because I thought everybody said it's the best palette. That's what I thought. It still is really good. But who remembers this? Do you still have your palette? Let me know. All right. Here's another one. I didn't put them together with Urban Decay. The Moon Dust palette. Now, I was late to the show for this, but I still have the little peel thingy here. Everybody talked about this. I found this at TJ Maxx because they don't sell this anymore. And again, I still go into this palette. I mean, look at that. Why doesn't Urban Decay make stuff like this anymore? I don't understand it. I mean, look at that. It's just gorgeous. It's older palette. You can tell it's not as boom in your face anymore. But if you wet these, like with setting spray, put it on your brush, do the setting spray on it and put it on. It's amazing. Amazing. Okay. Lime Crime. Now, when I fell in love with these because of some like YouTubers and stuff would talk about these, I didn't realize like there was a lot of drama with the owner at that time. I don't think she's the owner anymore. I think she stepped down. However, because I just watched like unboxings and beauty channels. I didn't know a lot of the drama and stuff like that, but the Venus and Venus 2 palette were so popular. So this is the Venus palette. Again, my colors, but it's the peachy, you know what I mean? Like, and I use this as well too. Love it. But I actually like this one better. This is the Venus 2, and it looked like this. Because when I purchased both of these, I was already getting into color. And look at the blue. The orange was more vibrant than like this color here, a mustard color. I start getting into like yellows and stuff. I really like it. And it's still going strong. Well, maybe not anymore. Like the blue isn't as pigmented, but it's very buildable. And for some reason, I just can't get rid of this either. I don't know why. I cannot tell you when the last time I used these, though. It's been maybe 2 years, and I don't know. I just can't get rid of it. I'm going to have to do, because I'm going to start doing like my collection videos and declutters. The eyeshadow palettes will probably be the last one because it'll probably be like 2 parts. And that's going to be the hardest for me to get rid of, you know? All right, then I start getting into ColourPop. Dream Street palette, I think, was the first palette I got from ColourPop that I think this came before them because of Kathleen lights. And let me just tell you, it doesn't have a mirror, and these are the colors. You cannot get this anymore, but it has the blues, the orange, you know, stuff I was getting into. And I remember when this was being released, this is when like I really had a makeup addiction. Like when, let's say it was getting released at 10 a.m. My whole family had to be quiet, couldn't talk to me, don't ask me no questions, stay offline so the Wi-Fi is not slow to get this, because this is the time ColourPop didn't release. They released a lot, but not like they did. And with, you know, everything sold out all the time. Remember when I think my conspiracy, you know, a lot of brands say it was sold out just so you would get FOMO. You know what I mean? Or maybe they did sell out. I don't know. So it was like you had to hurry up and get it. And it was like the anxiety and stuff. Now it's like I can care less about new releases. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. I'll get it when it comes back in stock. But it was crazy how I used to be. Then this is my favorite to this day, ColourPop palette. It's the Good Sport palette. I don't think you can get this anymore. But I started getting into greens and yellows. And it's a really good palette. This purple here, I hit pan. Look at that. I still say it's my favorite palette from ColourPop. Look at this. Look at this. These are shimmers, and this is a matte. I wish the formula would be more like this now, you know? But, okay. 2 more palettes from the ColourPop, and then 1 other palette, and we're done. Then the Cute AF. Remember how popular this was, and it would sell out? It would go online. It would sell out. They had a restock. People couldn't get it because this is when the warm tone was really in. I believe it was like close to getting summertime, you know, and you could not keep this thing in stock. I mean, there wasn't a lot of warm tone palettes like this, you know. Beautiful. This palette is still doing good. As old as it is, still doing good. And the last one, the Sweet Talk palette. I can't get rid of this. It's beautiful. I believe this is the first palette that they did like the Super Shock shadow in here. And I'm like, why would they put that in here? And then they started putting glitter. Before they didn't put the glitter in here. And I'm not a pressed pigment person. I don't know if you can even see that. I'm not a pressed pigment person, so I don't use the pressed glitters. And I remember a lot of people complain, but they don't listen because they still put the pressed glitters. But yeah, these are the palettes that I love. And we have one last palette.
It's about damn time.
Color Rain. Who remembers this palette? This is the Queen of Hearts palette. They don't make this anymore, I don't think. But I still love this palette. You have a mirror. Look at the colors. But it was the formula. And I noticed with Color Rain, they have its hits and misses. And the formula is not like this. I don't know why they didn't keep this type of formula. Let me just show you. Oh, look at that. Let's do like a matte here. It's getting old because as I'm swatching, it feels like grady, like, you know. But look, it's still great. I wish they still made it like, oh my God, look at that. Look at that. It's going strong. I got this when it first came out. Here's the matte. If they kept the formula like this palette right here, they would do so good. They really, really would. But this is another palette I refuse to give up. All right, guys. So those are the palettes that they're older palettes I fell in love with. I just can't get rid of. And I don't know why, but I need to because I have not used them. But looking at them now, some of them I will, like especially this, I will put in the front so I can start using them more. I loved them before, love them now. It's because now so much stuff has came out. It's like you only have 2 eyeballs, right? 1 face. But I really, really love these palettes. Let me know what older palette, like, did you get? What palette made you fall in love? What are some palettes that you know are older, you just can't get rid of, you know? Let me know down below. Let me know what you think of this type of video. And it's a little bit longer, but let me know what you think of it. Do you like these type of videos than the unboxings? Let me know. And that's everything, guys. Please like this video. It really does help me out and only takes a second. Or dislike it. It helps me out. It's engagement. Make sure you leave a comment because that helps me out too. It's engagement. Do not forget to put your post notification bell on because YouTube don't notify people anymore. That way you'll get all of my future videos. And do not forget, I have that giveaway. I will leave it down below. Check it out. All right, guys. Stay beautiful. Stay blessed. Stay healthy. And most importantly, always stay you. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.